Hey YouTube, this is Firewizard23 and it is hot. Today on Let's Play Outnumbered. It is very hot where I am. So we're not pro level. As an all-star, we're all-star. As an all-star, the match rule in the decoder is different than at the lower ranks. We gotta be careful. Let's keep going. Into the game room. Oh, let's kill the snake. Time for the prize is right. Prize C costs 4 times as much as a puzzle another player bought last Friday. How many dollars did the puzzle cost? So we have 488 times 4, or 1,000. Wait, I might have mistyped that. 4. Oh, cost 4 times. Oh, that might cost me. 20. I guess it helps you if you screw up twice. Whoops, I read it wrong. Mim's total score for her 2 spins is 124. This is Jim's first spin. What does Jim need to get on his second spin so that his total score will tie Mim's? 124, take away the 59, is 65. Okay. Ah! Out! Head up the elevator. There's the energy supply. We'll skip it for now. Hope everyone's doing well. It is the 1st of June, 2013, as I record this. Been doing some mowing today. This is my lunch break, and we're getting some recording done for my Let's Plays. Hope you enjoy. Shady Glenn's fine jazz guitars will play on Joe's jazz. To make him easier to hear, Joe will increase the volume by 439. Where will the markers for the 1's control be? 1 plus 9 is 10, so 0. You're right. Time for the grade 8. The Spin'em Record Company wants to know how many more calls there were last month for Blue Peaks than Darn My Socks. What is the answer? 21 minus 9 is 12. Oh, month. Whoops. 307. Take away 2. Whoops. Wow, I can do this. I can understand word problems intended for elementary level kids. Let's do some math problems. I'm failing today. 1. 6 and 24, 48. Now it's testing me. 5 and 18 and 99 and 7 and 8. I got it. It's okay. I got it. 17. And we get the clipboard. Okay, so we have a clipboard. Let's head to the equipment room. Get rid of the snake. Under the shelves. Last week, I ate 74 cans of Clown's whipped cream. The week before, I ate 262 cans. If I had all the whipped cream on hand now, how many cans will I have eaten in all? 74 plus 262 is this. There's 102 cans left, so that's 438. Let's head to the screen for the old-time costume items. I like to wear white gloves when doing my mischief at the station. I took 113 pairs out of the closet. I went back later and took 11 pairs more. How many pairs of gloves are left? 190, take away the 124 altogether. There's 66 pairs left. Out we go. Kill the fake telly. Into the cartoon room. Time for the line graph. Week 1 by the red line, and week 2 by this black line. This chart shows the number of children watching cartoons in 2 different weeks. How many more children watch cartoons on Monday of week 1 than of week 2? None. That's right. The video cassettes. I think I will change 1/4 of the funny flicks on tape D to tragic tunes. How many centimeters, cm, of tragic tunes would there be after I have done my mischief? He wants to change how many centimeters will there be after I have done my mischief? Oh, this is tricky. 160 divided by 8, is 145. 160 take away 145 is 1015. No, I think I'll change 1/8 of the funny flicks. Tragic tunes. How many centimeters? Oh, how many tragic tunes will there be? Whoops, whoops, whoops. Whoops, I read that wrong. That's my bad. 145. I thought it was like how much was left on it, which was actually a much more complex question. Oh, yeah! Hit Telly. I'm really overthinking questions that are meant for elementary kids. But hey, nothing wrong with... I would think that the game, realizing my level of skill at this point, would actually kind of make questions like that. Say, okay, we're going to take away this much of it, but ask me for a fractional amount and see how much is left. I mean, I believe if you have a really advanced elementary education kid, there's nothing wrong with that question. I have asked kids... I have actually done direct practice with individual elementary kids, and that's actually a mental challenge for them. That I ask them how much is left after such a calculation, and they actually have to ponder that question for a minute, because it's far more advanced than questions they've been asked before, and ask them to kind of get them out of the box a little bit. I remember one question I had one kid give me. I gave him a question about a peanut butter factory, where there were jars of peanut butter that got packed into a box, like 6 each, and it said that there were we could make 800 jars an hour. And they would all be packed into boxes that it could fit them. And my question for him was, how many... I asked him for the number of jars left over, and I just gave him a standard calculator, and his first answer was division. And then he did the division on the standard calculator, and he got a decimal answer. And so I think he said, like, whatever the decimal was at the end, and I asked him if that answer made sense, and he said no. The answer, because he said, like, 73, and I don't remember what it was. But I was like, how could the answer be 73 if they could pack 6 jars in each box? I mean, it was really interesting to see where kind of his thinking was. I try not to watch Animal Antics because it has film of cute animals doing funny things. How many minutes of the show were shown during the first 3 months of this year? 360 plus 360 for January and February. Let's add the 480, and we get 1,200 minutes. Let's head to this chart. All of Telly's friends from Fremont, Dallas, and New York are coming to visit SGTV next week. How many friends will be here altogether? 269 plus 277 plus 51. 597. Now we should have everything we need, but I think we're missing one Telly. Or 2 Tellys. Actually, let me just check. What are we missing? If we need Telly 2 more times, and you notice the match rule is very different. Oh boy. But let's get the rest of the secret code, and then we'll get the rest of the code we need from Telly, and then we'll figure it out. Oh, it was red. Is that upstairs? Let me get a little charge at the booster. Okay. All charged up, but we need Telly. Oh, that's a fake Telly. We need the red Telly. Gotcha! We have 9. So yeah, that would be appropriate for elementary kids. Once you've established that they can understand basic stuff, like, let's advance a little bit. Let's get them into algebra-based concepts, which is what, like, middle school and stuff does. But it's like, if they're ready, advance them. And the only unfortunate problem with that, as I see it in education, is that there's just so much going on that's very difficult to really have a level of individualized education for every child. Trust me, it would be wonderful. Because then we would be engaging every child at their level. That would be wonderful, but it's just... Education just does not have the resources to do that. But it would be a very... I'm talking about an education system where kids would literally end education when they had mastered it. That there would be no need to hold them back. Like, why not just... Oh, rats. If they finish up all the stuff they need to do by the time they're in the equivalent of, like, 10th grade and they're 16, they're done. Like, they don't need to have a formalized education anymore. They've finished it. Not that they could not continue into things that they just like. For example, I know high school teachers who teach, for example, anthropology, and they teach, like, really advanced sciences and math. They could take those courses. Why not? Have them start taking college preparatory courses if they're ready. But I think sometimes we just simply drag our heels sometimes in educations with kids. We really do. I tried the best I could with one of the last classes I taught, where I actually did levels, what is referred to as differentiated instruction. What that means is that every child is taught basically at their level. So here's how it works. I give very basic instruction to all the kids on a new concept. I then have pre-prepared worksheets of 3 levels of difficulty. Level 1 being like the very bare bones concept. Like, I taught you a formula, from this information, take it and figure it out. And then there is... I'm sorry, I'm kind of holding off doing the puzzle here, because this is actually really interesting. Then there's the second level where it's like, okay, you have the formula now, what if we kind of worked it backwards? Like, what if, let's say, the volume of a cone. The formula for volume of a cone. What if, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, I think it's 4/3 pi r cubed, I think. I'm guessing there, I don't actually remember. 3/4, or whatever it is. But let's say I gave you the volume, and then you had to work backwards through information I gave you in the picture. Like, you had to tell me what, like, the radius of the circle of the cone was. Then we can get to, like, really even more advanced ideas. Like, there's, like, the level 3 kids, where all of a sudden, now, let's talk about a factory that produces these, and they have this much material. Can you tell me about the surface area of the cone, of, like, ice cream cones that would be made? So now they have to, like, really stretch what they know about math. Now, what they do is the kids can choose whatever level they want. And you'd be amazed, like, oh, they all pick level 1? No. To be fair, the really high-end kids, they like the challenge. I had a situation in my classroom where every single kid was challenged at their level. We had the kids who had like one-to-one paraeducators who were now working with them and saying, okay, who are now working with their like low-end kids who would take the rest of the time to get that level 1 mastery. That they were just having trouble even just with the very basic concept. Then you kind of have like the middling kids who, you do have to kind of push some kids like, okay, you could do level 2, like, okay, I could do level 2. Because they can bump themselves up if they want. And they do level 2 stuff. And even if there's time, they'll try level 3. But then you have, like, the really high-end kids who really want to test themselves at level 3. And they're asking me questions. Like, the kids who are, like, really, really smart, like, always have 90s and stuff. This is starting to push even the boundaries of what they can do. And they love it. It's, like, totally engaging for them. And all of a sudden, I have maximum engagement of every single kid in the classroom. It's maddening. It's a little maddening as an educator, but it's rewarding to know that you've really engaged them on that. The only thing that kind of comes up here, unfortunately, is you have... Okay, when I grade them, okay, I get the level 1s, the level 2s, and level 3s. I give them all a mark based on the same grading scale. So, for example, if the level 3 person got an 8 and the level 1 person got a 9. Now, there's not a huge variance here. I mean, if kids are failing at the level 3, I mean, they really should be knocking themselves down to level 2, because they're pushing themselves a little too hard. All right, and they kind of figure that out pretty quickly. But even if the grades don't start to match up, like all of a sudden you like have 8s, 9s, 8s, and 7s I graded out of 10. 9s, 8s, and 7s all across the board, but based on different skill levels, the kids never really picked it up. All of a sudden it became really insignificant whether or not their grades were actually measured against the same academic skill level. They're basing it on themselves, and the kids valued that a lot more. And trust me, there wasn't like this huge variant, like, like the level 3 kids were getting like C's all of a sudden, and the level 1 kids were getting 90s. I mean, that didn't happen. But there was a little bit of fluctuation, and the kids kind of liked it. Their engagement was actually much more important to them. Okay, now that I've completely gone on a side tangent here, as you notice, the secret code doesn't seem to match anything we have here. What's the match rule? The hideout has different pictures, but the same pattern as the secret code. What? The hideout has different pictures, but the same pattern as the secret code. Huh? The same has different pictures, but the same pattern as the secret code. Now, my only concern here is that would suggest to me that it's the newsroom, because there's 1, 1, and then 2 of the same image, which is what the newsroom has, except we also have the on-air symbol, which is in the newsroom. Because my thought is it wouldn't be the cartoon room, because that has 1 picture, 2 the same, and then 1, which is not the same pattern. It has the same pattern as the secret code. I say it's the newsroom. Let's try it. I think the Master of Mischief is in the newsroom. Did I get it right? Come on, Master of Mischief! Your show is over! I got him! Okay, I call BS there because technically the newsroom the news symbol was there. Yeah. Oh well. We got him! Hooray! After all my blabbing about education. But it's a good discussion. It's something that I found really rewarding when I did education. It was maddening, but I did it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Sorry about that. I was coming up with a different song. And actually, this episode is kind of ran long because of that rant, so I'm actually going to end it with just this one. So, but hey, first time All-Star rank. Alright, so this is Firewizard23. Take care and bye-bye for now, everybody.